Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, we really do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil is on the air. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community, we will talk about it. Hey, hello and welcome in. Well, we are in Memphis, Tennessee, as always. There's something going on here that is not up to par. Let me just say it like that, because we have to address these issues, and until we start addressing these issues in our community, we are going to be in a tough spot. Well, we have been investigating some things, and more uh, stories are coming up, just like the Carlisle Chase and Chance Carlisle brothers in the Carlisle group. Somehow that seemed to be suspicious and funny in the wheeling and the dealing in the back rooms and the deals were cut. If you don't think that they cut some kind of deal somewhere down the line when Jim Strickland was working on it, but Paul Young finished it at the taxpayer's expense. And we want to talk about that because that is important. Things like that from the Carlisle Group eventually will own the Sheraton Hotel off of the backs and the expense of the constituents, the people in the city of Memphis who paid the taxes for a better life in this community. But we are getting screwed over and over again. And no one seems to care, especially the people that you elect in the community. And sometimes you, the people, just seem to not care about what is happening with your tax dollars. And I find that to be real strange. When will we wake up and starting uh, to look at what is happening in this city and be concerned about it? You give your tax dollars and you say, well, I gave it away because I had to pay property taxes, had to pay taxes on my vehicle, pay taxes on this, that, and the other. And I just don't care. I go on by my daily life. But if you're going to take anything from me by way of a citizen, I want to see something in return as to what you are doing with my tax dollars. I'm not just going to be one to let you play with the tax dollars of the constituents, of the people of the city of Memphis. And I got a lot of people who text me and say, look, let's work together. And the more the merrier. I'm pleased to know that there are people out there that is concerned about the city of Memphis just like I am. I look forward to bringing them on the show. I look forward to collaborating with them. I look forward to sharing some of my information as well as the information that they sharing with me. And that's what it's all about. It's about sharing and coming together. When we stand together as constituents, as citizens of this community, then we can get something done. But if we sit back and do nothing, ladies and gentlemen, this, what you see in this city, will continue to happen. People are more concerned about a paycheck, and I say that all the time, than they are concerned about you. To me, that's just not right. They need to be concerned about the people first, because it's the people money that we have entrusted you to use and use in the right way, not to put it in your pocket. And as time will show, it will be money being placed in people's pockets. Let's just be real about it. Politics is the best way that you can steal money because people sometimes don't pay attention to what you're doing. And when you're over millions of dollars, and your hand gets sticky, you're going to try to figure out how can I get me some of this money without them knowing. That's the history of Memphis, from generations to administration to administration. If you look at it, there's always somebody with their hand in the pot. Uh, Deals being made, as I often say, from big wheels making big deals while eating big deals. They're working and trying to pretend doing a job for you, but they're actually doing a job for themselves. And until you realize that, until you understand that and say, hey, I understand what the game is. The political game is not a game that's benefiting us. It affect us in a negative way if we are not on top of what we supposed to be doing. And that's what we need to do. We need to come together as the people who are paying the bill, not the people who are running and supposed to be paying your bill. But as they go again, they're admitting they're taking from people to pay Paul with your tax dollars, meaning that they can't govern. Because anytime you take from Peter to pay Paul, you're not governing. You're just patching government. Because government got a hole in it. It's got a hole right now to the tune of $7 to $7.7 million deficit. You're going to find there's some more deficit from the transit authority. $60 million. What happened to the money? You showed that there had been misappropriation of money when it came down to the transit authority. Have anybody been arrested that you know of for the misappropriation of the money? Or have they just been slapped on their wrist and said, we're going to take you out? Well, you done took enough money from it that you can probably sit comfortably right now. But nobody has said three different administration of the transit authority has been removed. I haven't heard anything about anybody being convicted or anybody being charged. So what is it that you can just go to the transit authority, take the cars, do what you want to do, go to spas, travel first class, and all of that nonsense that you was doing to show that you was the CEO and you're messing with the people's money. And understand something, the people money extends all over the country. It extends from Memphis and Shelby County to Nashville, Tennessee, from Nashville, Tennessee to the federal government. All of it is your money. It is your tax money that make up this country. And we cannot sit back as people to continue look at how bad our government is being. They often say the government is for the people and by the people. It looks like the government is for the politician and not for the people. Uh, that's the way I look at it. But we need to put a stop to this. We want to elect people who have our best interests in mind. And how do we do that? We organize ourselves from town to uh, from community, excuse me, from community to community, from town to town as it relates to the state of Tennessee. This is just not a Memphis problem, it's a state problem. It is a federal problem that we see the abuse of our tax dollars from all across the board. What do? They always said that charity begins at home and then spread abroad. We have to take care of home before we can do anything. The constituents, the people of this community have to take care of home first. You have to align your family with the right way of doing things. First of all, if you're 18 and you're able to vote, yeah, you got to vote if you're in this house. No if and buts about it. That's taking care of home first. And then when you take care of that home, there's some other things that you need to do and get control of your children. Don't be afraid of somebody that you help to bring into this world, that you raised and you taught right from wrong. But if they can't do right in your house, evidently they're in the wrong house. Tough love is something that we need to show more toward our loved ones, toward the politicians. We have to show tough love. If you ain't it and you caught it yourself, you caught up in a situation, then you're not representing us. You got to go. We can't allow you to get caught up in a system that you're not representing us. And as I often say, when your community looks like a torn war area with blight and all of these other things, holes in your roads, but yet you pay taxes. How long, and I say to you, not long, do we continue to put up with this situation? Now, I want to say the state of Mississippi, I have to give them credit. I saw where the sheriff, along with the DA and others, who point blank have put bulletin boards up to say to the Memphis criminals, cross even when people are traveling from one state to the other, come out of Tennessee, go into Mississippi. They see the old board, they say to Memphis criminal, if you come down here, we got a place for you in prison. Memphis criminal, people traveling from whatever other state they see, and they go through Tennessee to Mississippi, they see Memphis criminals. If you come down here and break the law, we got a place for you in the prison. And when the state of Mississippi said they got a place for you in prison, they're not talking about a short term. They're not talking about a probation term. They're talking about a long term. And I commend them for giving you the warning that if you come here and we catch you, it won't be no buddy buddy plan down here. It won't be because you're a good old girl and you're a good old boy. They'll lie and say, well, we're not going to bring charges, knowing and seeing on a video where you broke the law. None of that will happen down in Mississippi because they're going to tear your butt up from the ground up when you come down there. And kudos to the DA, the real DA, down in the state of Mississippi, who send notice to you. If you come down there, don't be trying to race back to Memphis because they're going to get you. They're going to deal with you by any means necessary. But then let's flip the other side of that coin. And we look at the coin and look at the situation in Memphis. We do not have aggressiveness when it comes to criminals in our city. And in Memphis, Tennessee, in Shelby County, we just accept the way the prison and criminals are doing and treating the citizens of this community. They're carjacking, they're robbing, they're doing all kind of things. But I've seen nothing from the DA's office like I'm seeing from the DA in the state of Mississippi. No billboards. It says to the Memphis criminal here in Memphis, if we catch you, we gonna deal with you. We're gonna put you in prison and we're going to hide you. Tough love, you have to show it and you have to mean it. But you will only get that from strong, not weak politicians. Strong, but not weak leaders. And what we have in Memphis, and it's obvious that we have, because look at the state of Memphis. You look at it from the tax point of view. You look at it from the violent crime point of view. If we had strong citizens, if we had tough love to show toward these individuals who are committing these crimes, we'll show you the tough love by way of the courts. If the courts would give you the sentences that you deserve, as opposed to giving you a short probation period or giving you dismissing cases when you know you had committed a crime. And we have that in Memphis. We see that in Memphis. And it's not going to change until we get true leadership in this city. And once we get the leadership in this city, then we can see a difference in this city. But Mississippi has already told you, come on down here with that mess, and we're going to show you what we're going to do to you. Now, mamas, daddies, you see mamas more than daddies. You had no business doing this to my baby. Well, your baby had no business breaking the law. And I remember the time when in Memphis in the 70s, when I was in law enforcement, 80s and the 90s, there was some tough love shown. And that tough love was enough not to be in the situation that we are in right now in Memphis, Tennessee. I often say that we are just a small version of Solomon and Gomorrah. You look at it. When you look at Solomon and Gomorrah, everything was going wrong. Everything is going wrong in Memphis. You look at the leadership, then you look at the leadership now. It is weak, and we cannot get it done because they're going to debate whether this, that, or the other should be done. A strong leadership, a strong body, a strong government know what to do. They don't have to debate it. They sit down, they see it, they address it, and then the people of the city of Memphis will be safe. People, when I go down to Mississippi on Goodman Road sometime, it's a whole different atmosphere from when you're going down the street in Memphis, Tennessee. I don't see people looking over their shoulder on Goodman Road like you do throughout the city of Memphis. And it all comes back, and understand, it all comes back because of the poor leadership. And understand now, the politicians are not the politicians of old who did their dirt, but then they cared about the people. The politicians now care more about themselves than they care about you. When are you going to wake up? And if I have to expose, if I have to do research, and I ain't got nothing but time on my hand to sit back, sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking at situation, reading documents, researching documents, to come up and say, why did they do this? Why didn't the people know about this? Well, this program, Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil, is about enlightening you. It's about you knowing exactly what is going on in this community. But the problem comes whether you're going to do anything about the situation once you know it. Now, to me, when you talk about the Carlisle group, you talk about one brother being a city councilman, Chase. You talk about the other one being the CEO of the Chase, the Carlisle group. And then all of a sudden, they end up eventually owning the hotel. You're not going to own anything, and people ask me that. But now, will it be our hotel? No, it's already been set out that the Carlisle group eventually they will run it, but then eventually they're going to own it. They're going to own it right now, run it right now, but eventually it's going to own it. Why? Because you paid for it. They put in the money up to, in some way, to refurbish it, and then after they do that, it becomes the Carlisle Group. Now, if you think I'm telling you something different, go to my timeline and read what I got doing my research and put out there for you. And to all those people who are really concerned, and you're calling me or you're texting me and say, let's do this. Let's come together. Sometime it take maybe 10 or 12 to get the ball rolling. And if you got information like Joe Kent and others who are having podcasts and say, well, wait a minute, Somebody told us about you in this show that you got here, and we want to team up with you, and we want to share information. By all means, I'm not trying to run for anything in it. Everything I do really come down to seven times. The Bible said the seven times. That means that it's finished. In those period of time that I did run, trying to enlighten you, to represent you, to be a strong advocate for you, I was rejected. But the seventh time has come. Now you said to me over those seven times that we want to be in the dark. We want them to steal, rob, and others killed in this city. We didn't want strong leadership. So therefore, I'm going to show you what you're getting through the leadership you got. So it's obvious right now what you got. You got absolutely nothing that's strong enough to represent you. The state of Mississippi is showing you what true leadership is. The state of Arkansas, I've said in so many words too, you bring that crime of Memphis that you do over here, we got a place for you. But only in Memphis that the leadership has not made a strong statement about punishing the criminals and protecting you. What they say to you, I'm not for the National Guards being here. And to me, that showed the weakness of the mindset of the individual who are being told, uh, telling you what to do and being told to you, and you accept that. See, the weakness is in the individual and the leadership, the true leadership of Memphis. The money people are putting their agenda into the mind of the weak individuals that we have as leaders. And you see that, but you accept that and you go along with it. And you go along with it because they are making deals. Well, then this community, the people that look like you and I, who are African American, those are the people that's really harming you. They are the people who really setting you up to be killed in this city, in my opinion, because they are not strong enough to do what Arkansas and the state of Mississippi said that they were going to do. Every night it's starting to happen again, but they are on top of it. You have people ending up doing things that they shouldn't. But the president of the law enforcement, I don't know how long they're going to be here. You hear the politicians saying, wait a minute, once they're gone, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? To me, for a person to say, what are they going to do? That means you don't have a clue. But at the same time, you're saying, we don't need them here. But then you say, what are we going to do once they leave? The crime will go up. And to me, that's a weak leader, Paul Young and Lee Harris and anybody else who asks that question. You are a weak individual that you got to say, what are we going to do when the protection that we have in this city as of right now, and we can see the reduction in the crime, what are we going to do? Now, a strong leader, if you couldn't do anything, you would sit back now and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at what the law enforcement agencies are doing, and we're going to implement that. Before we talk about a hotel, we should have been talking about security of this city. Before we talked about a regional one, we should have been talking about the citizens of this community and their safety and their welfare. But no, we want our name on a building. We want to say that Lee Harris was the county mayor when this building or the jail where Floyd Bunning was the sheriff. That means nothing because those people have gotten a good retirement off of doing nothing to benefit you. The jail, we talk about it, and the situation in the jail. Is it just a comfortable situation now that people go into the jail, they die in the jail, and we said nothing. And we got pounds of lawsuits on top of lawsuits as it relates to the jail, as it relates to the city. And then we are paying out or we continue. And understand something. Every time you go to court on a situation or a lawsuit, somebody, some lawyer, some firm is being paid thousands of dollars over and over again because of what's going on in Memphis and because the lack of leadership. The lack of leadership. Every city has lawsuits because people fail to do what's supposed to be done in this city. Now, there's certain things that I'm gonna address as well. The football coach at Michigan State. I have to just say this. What the hell were you thinking? What is the matter with you? You're at a national university, Michigan State. You're there with a $5 million a year contract. But then you're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to embarrass your wife. You're going to embarrass your children. You're going to embarrass your family, your friends that was excited for you to get the job. A black coach at Michigan State. Then you take upon yourself. You ain't the first African American did that. We had a basketball coach who decided to have a relationship uh, with a college student, doing well as a basketball coach, but he decided to do that. He lost his job. Family member, the relationship probably would never be the same. Wife would probably never trust him again for that mistake. And sometimes it's not really a mistake, it's stupidity. And I would say that to the coach in Michigan. It was downright stupidity. For all that you was blessed with, you would have a relationship with the staffer. You would go to the home, you know the door. They got you now for almost vandalism and breaking and entering. Let me say this to you, and to all the women, I want y'all to hear me. There's nothing about you that I would want or that is important enough for me to embarrass my family, for me to go to jail, for me to lose whatever income it is because of the lust. And when it's all said and done, it's all about a lust. I can't tell you what old schools used to tell me when it come to women. And I'm gonna be nice about what I'm saying. And they used to say in so many words, there is no part of a woman that's on a woman to make me lose my mind over. That was instilled in me a long time ago. If a relationship is over, it's over. Dust off your shoes and move on. That's scripture. If a situation is not working, why would you jeopardize 5 million or more dollars a year to act a fool with a staffer? That is the problem that I just cannot understand about that coach in Michigan State. You embarrass yourself because of a staffer, because of a female. They posted the picture online this morning. I couldn't do nothing but just sit there and look and say, what kind of fool is this man to give up all of this for whatever reason it was? You should have known that was a no-no as it relates to the staffer that was on your staff at Michigan State. Why did you think, because you may have had a winning season, that you thought you could do that and get away with it? Don't always remember, young man, if a woman don't want you, dust off your shoes. If a woman says stop, then you stop. Because there's nothing about a woman that will make you lose everything you got. Because I've always been told that when one don't want you, God made another one that will want you. So why is it that you get so tired of, especially as a leader, as a head coach of Michigan State? I do not understand that. And I'm saddened uh, for his family. I'm saddened for him that he wasn't strong enough to understand the position that he was in and has been put in where other coaches, young men who are aspiring to be where he is. But that error will always be surfacing when it comes to African American man around certain women. And let's say it, let's be truthful, around certain women. A woman is a woman to me, no matter what color, race she is. The bottom line, she is a woman. And you should have enough sense and strong enough to understand that when you're in a position, there's certain things you just don't do. And when you do that, you end up in the situation that he's in right now. He's probably sitting somewhere trying to hire a lawyer. He's sitting somewhere in his hand, head in his hand, and says to himself, what was I thinking? Well, brother, you were not thinking in this particular situation. God bless you. This is something you got to go through. This is something that you have lost. And I'm ashamed of you, and I'm ashamed for you that you put your family through this type of situation. There's no part of a woman, no matter what, the way should make a man act that big of a fool. I'm Jennings Bernard. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. And now that we're talking about that, there's something else in the news. Why in the world would a deputy sheriff in Memphis and Shelby County get oral sex from a female in the courtroom? The record is saying that there's been other deputies have done this before that worked in the courtroom. My last few days of working in the courtroom, I didn't do it. So why in the world would anybody put their job and livelihood? He's fired now. He wasn't now. He's sitting at home. If he got a wife or a girlfriend, he's sitting at home saying, what did I do? I had a job. But did sin, did lust, or whatever get to the point that I just lost everything because of that? Again, there is no part of a woman that would make me or anybody in their right mind sit back and allow that to happen when you know that you're there for your livelihood. What is wrong with you. See, that says to me that's a very weak man. That's a very weak woman. That's a woman who has no respect for herself as a woman. And here both of them are out the door. And the reputation and the situation will follow them all the days of their life because of the stupidity that we have going on. It's stupidity all over the city of Memphis from your politician. They're thinking they slick as Slick Rick, as they used to say, that they can just do the old thing. But to me, the time has come and a change is about to happen. Collaboration is going to uncover a whole lot of things. And I have to say this off. And I called his office once before. I'm trying to get him on here. I would like to talk to the representative. And if you know Mark White, uh, please let him know I'm trying to get in contact with him. I would like to talk to him. He put out there, what do you want me to do to work on coming in January in the new session? And I put the forensic audit. And I said the school board. I want you to do that. And a lot of people hit like what I had said about it. And that's important to me. And I want him to come on and talk to you. And the question that he asked on Facebook, I want him to ask it to you, and you call in and you tell Representative Mark White that you appreciate what he did as it relates to the audit and the school board. Call him. If you don't appreciate it, call it. But at least call in and talk to your representative. I'm gonna be working on that. I got some more other guests that will be coming in that we can talk about. And I'm going to work on some of these people through their action that are in political office that really, in my opinion, need mental help. They even look like they need mental help. They act like they need mental help. And you have somebody like that over an office that's supposed to be the leader, and their mind, in my opinion, is not right. And a lot of you are seeing that. There's some is wrong with some of these people we have in position. Some is being brought to the forefront, but others are back being quiet and you're not hearing anything they're doing. But we want to find out what's going on in these positions that people are being paid over 100,000 or more. We got people from C.J. Davis that's just been put in the position that doesn't think enough of you to live in the city where she's the chief of police. She don't want to be around you, but she want to lead you, and you sit up and accept that mess. And you get the individual that you told that you wanted him to replace her. He played game with you. Then he turned around and bought a hotel on you, and then giving the hotel away. Something is wrong with that. But we got Joe Kent coming back up next week, and we'll talk more about that. And then some more that I've been talking to that have issues, I'm gonna bring them on, and we're gonna talk about it. And we're gonna have our own town hall conferences right here on this program where we can make a difference. It's time for us to do it. This is December. I'm looking out and I see more and more political signs. There's one sign I saw today, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. The sign just simply said Murphy. Murphy for county commission. If it's the same Murphy I'm thinking of, she should never be elected to anything. And she had proven that to you. Not even the school board, but it said Murphy County Commission. Is that a teaser? What do you think? The number is 901-288-5779. If you wish to call, but if not, we do what we do here each and every day, bringing the information to you so you can make a difference in your life. Do you support me? Some of you do, others don't, but that's on you. But I still ask you to subscribe to this program. Then subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as going to the website. And you can do that because this will be posted on the website, on YouTube, on X. I'm doing all of this to make sure that you have the information. It won't be a problem anymore for you to say, well, I didn't know. Myself and others, we're teaming up to bring you everything you should know. And for those who know and want to be anonymous, we take your information. If you know something is going on, business or political, in other words, you know how to get in contact with me. You can get in contact with me at 901-288-5779, or you can call, text me at Sonny Bernard, SONNYBERNARD, that's one word, at att.net. And every now and then you run across folks who want to super save a Negro or super save a female, using a better term. No matter what they do, they're there to super save them. And they'll go along with the devil as long as they can if they are benefiting from it. So if you hear a friend or a so called friend that's upholding wrong, then you know what he's trying to do. He's trying to super save an individual or super save a female. You can't super save individuals who are not worthy to be saved. And that's what you got in most of our politicians. If politicians have tricked you in your district and you look at your community, they're not worth it being reelected or elected. That's just my opinion. I'm Jennings Bernard. You've been listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. As always, we really, really appreciate you. We hope you have a blessed and prosperous weekend. Love your family, hug them, do all of that. Because in the words of my grandmother, she used to always say, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on Monday. But remember what I said. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. Y'all have a great weekend. Take care. Pray for me and I'll pray for you. Good night.